That is probably about as perfect of a dialed up win as you can have. Offense hit home runs, added on. Starting pitcher was phenomenal. Relief pitching a little shaky, but it's the extras in the bullpen, so you're not too worried about it. What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back and welcome into the Seattle Mariners post-game recap. Mariners defeat the White Sox tonight 8-3 to improve to 61-53 on the year. As always, if you can like the video, helps out tremendously. Subscribe, 127 away from 5,000. We're getting there. Comment your thoughts on the team and the game down below. Standings-wise, Mariners are 3 games back in the American League West. They currently hold the second wild card. They are a full game ahead of the New York Yankees, who have dipped all the way down to the third wild card spot. And the Mariners are a game and a half ahead of Texas, who's the first team out, and 2 ahead of Cleveland, who would be the second team out. So that their cushion has shrunk a little bit, I guess you could say, or no, I think they're 2 up on a playoff spot. I beg your pardon. They're 2 games up on a playoff spot. Let me edit that, actually. So let's do that right now, live and in person. I think they're 2 up on Texas because they were right. No, they're 1.5. They are. They're 1.5. I was right. They're 1.5 because Texas won yesterday and the Mariners didn't play. So apologize for any throwing anybody for a loop with that. But hey, keep winning your games and it won't matter, right? You'll get in. So but yeah, I mean, really is just kind of when I say perfect win, like, listen, obviously winning 19-0 would be better, but those are games that happen like once a decade type victories. This team is built to win like this, 8-3. You get your home runs, Dom, Naylor, Eugenio gets his first home run since coming back, but you also get your add-ons, right? You get the Jorge Polanco base hit there. You get a couple stolen bases from Naylor and Gino, ironically, not Julio and Dylan Moore. Even some of their outs, right? Like Randy and Cal both stung fly balls, I think, in the 5th inning there that could have resulted in a run. So that was great to see. Offense was on point. Starting pitcher absolutely dialed in. We've said the starting pitching has got to be a little bit better here. It's been better since the All-Star break for sure, but it's got to be even better for this team to really make a run out. They get a great start again from Bryan Woo. Another start of going over 6 innings, 22 or 23 now to start the season. Kowar and Legamino were a little frustrating, but the game was never in doubt. They're more frustrating from the aspect of they probably cost us about 20 minutes of sleep and getting to bed for this one. So, and the White Sox, listen, they've been playing pretty good. They lead their tops in runs per game since the All-Star break. They actually have a better run differential, I believe, than the Angels. Run differential is not everything, but it's a team that's probably oh my gosh, I can't speak tonight. Probably better than 42 and 71. But it's also a team the Mariners need to take care of business of, right? Regardless of if they're hot, cold, whatever, it's still not a very good baseball team. You're not 42 and 71 and just right there. Now, I mean, maybe next year they're a sleeper team. I'm not saying they're not, but like they're still not very good this year. I mean, the record shows it. They're probably underperforming a little bit, but they're not good. And we've seen the Mariners kind of almost play cat and mouse or cat and a little, those toys that they dangle and they kind of swipe at it. Mariners have done that with some of these lesser teams and they lose a series or they just don't play competitive baseball. Early on in this game, you kind of saw a little bit of it. Sosa hits the home run, then Julio's out at third. You're like, don't do this, guys. Don't make this one of those games, that we've seen. But they don't. They come out and they end up crushing the White Sox here. You hate to say you need a sweep because, again, if you win 2 out of every 3, you're fine. But you're set up pretty well here. It is a series. I'm sure I'm jinxing it and they'll lose 2 out of 3 now, but it's a series I'd like to get all 3. Get yourself a little separation, probably. Get yourself season high 10 games over 500 and get ready because you are going to play some tougher teams coming up. You're going to have a road trip. You got to go to the Mets and the Phillies. You're still going to have the Astros again this season. Dodgers, that's at the end of the year. But, there's going to be a lot more competitive baseball teams. Why I think the White Sox are in the right direction or certainly closer than we've seen the last couple of years. Still a team you got to take advantage of and get some W's here and a good start to that tonight and set up well now with George Kirby and Logan Gilbert to very hopefully possibly win the series and sweep it. So, it really is. Like I said, when I say, it's just built to win this way. Like I said, these are the type of games where, and even tonight, the offense didn't feel completely dialed in. They're still putting up 8 runs, right? They've scored now in the last 5. They scored 6, 10, 14, 19, 27 runs in the last 5 games. almost 6 runs a game, and they haven't really felt complete yet. And that's kind of my thing with this offense. When everybody's dialed in, they're going to be almost unstoppable. There's just no break when you face this lineup right now. And it feels weird to say that as Mariners fans, but there's no just, okay, phew, like this guy's coming up. Okay, we got Miles Masterboni up. We feel like we can get it out here. Even Cole Young at the bottom, a couple solid line drive hits and an RBI ground out. JP, much better in the Texas series, not great tonight, but JP is more than capable of beating you. So really 1 through 9, you think you get through the gauntlet, then here comes Jorge Polanco with a 2-run single and another base hit later in the game. 1 through 9, there's no easy out in this lineup. And like I said, that they don't even feel like they're at their potential. Cal's slumping, JP's in a little bit of a slump, and you're still getting 5-6 runs a game because it's just such a deep lineup. And everybody can hit the long ball on you. Just need to find a way to get some of those extra runs in, and that's exactly what they did tonight. So let's go ahead and dive into the box score here. Bryan Woo, again, 23 consecutive starts for at least 6 innings pitched, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, no walks, 9 Ks. Gets the win 9-6. He throws 83 pitches, 57 strikes. Probably could have let him pitch the 8th, but, as Woo's approaching career highs in innings, not sure when the next off day is. You had an 8-1 lead. Let Legumina and Kowar finish that one out and get through it. No reason to push Bryan Woo. I'd actually be more likely to send him out if the game was close. In that instance, with it being a blowout, let someone else finish it, and Woo's, going to be great to go his next start, but just continues to be fantastic. I didn't realize he only gave up 2 hits. It was the Sosa home run, and then I don't remember what the other hit it was. Oh, it was a 2-out double by the catcher. I forgot what inning, in the 2nd or 3rd inning, I think they had a 2-out double, and that was it for Bryan Woo. No walks either, no hit by pitches, just fantastic outing. And again, against a lineup that, you're going to look at the White Sox record and say they're awful, but, even if you look at some of the numbers within the lineup here, I mean, I don't know how many at-bats they've had, but Tauchman, 820 OPS, Sosa, 747, Benintendi, 730, Robert, 663, but we know he can go deep on you, and most of that damage against lefties, but still, Colson Montgomery just up at 869, Caro, 722, Teal, 747, Baldwin, 649. Josh Rojas has been rough this year, 504. Like, again, I mean, not a Cooperstown lineup there, but certainly capable. And Bryan Woo made it look very easy against him. And if you don't think Bryan Woo made it easy, look at Legumina and Kowar. They struggled a little bit to get through those final 6 outs. So Woo was fantastic. Legumina throws a scoreless 8th. It was scoreless. 1 hit, 2 walks, not very sharp there, through 38 pitches. I'm scouring the waiver wire if I'm the Mariners. There's been some interesting guys DFA'd, released, that are out there. I have no problem with them looking for an upgrade over Casey Legumina. Again, as your last guy, do I think he's going to keep them from the playoffs? No. But if you can get a little bit of upgrade there, why not? Kowar, actually, believe it or not, despite giving up the 2 home runs, I thought pitched better than Legumina. At least he was finding the strike zone. And he was 3 outs away. Listen, I will give both guys a little bit of a break. The issue for me with Legumina was the 2 walks. It's like, dude, it's 8-1, man. Just throw it down the middle and let's go home. Giving up some hits and stuff in those instances don't bother me. Like, Kowar's just trying to throw strikes, get 3 outs, get us out of here. Robert got him, and then Montgomery got him. Hopefully they got out of their system for the rest of the series, right? Still not a great performance, obviously, when you give up 2 home runs, but Kowar gives up those 2 hits and a strikeout. So Woo was fantastic. Bullpen, like I said, all they did is they cost you about 20 minutes of sleep tonight, more than likely. Mariners pound out 11 hits, 4 walks, 8 runs. They were really there for a while. I'm glad they added a couple more on Davis Martin in the 6th inning, because, man, he was lucky to be through 5 with 3 runs. Mariners were crushing the baseball. Like I said, Cal and Randy hit those fly balls to right that could have easily got down. Even Julio, it was a ground ball, but it was hit at 92. Naylor even did reach on an error. He stung a ball. Cal's double play was hit at 104. Again, I try not to get too excited about ground balls, but still, like, hit with some velocity on it. And then I don't know how Gino pulled that home run. That was tremendous to see. We'll get into it here. I guess we'll just hop into the box score. Randy was 0 for 3, was hit by a pitch. Masterboni pinched hit for him just to get Randy a little bit of a breather. He was 0 for 1. Cal 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Cal is scuffling. I'm not worried. Like, Cal is having a career year. Again, Cal could not get another hit the rest of the way, and I would still have nothing bad to say about the season that Cal Raleigh had. It would be disappointing that in the final 45 games, Cal decided to just completely fall off the earth. But like, even Cal's best season has not been this good. It's reasonable to expect a little bit of decline. It's frustrating that the last couple series, he's been really off and had some opportunities and some crucial at-bats. I don't think the Derby or the All-Star game affected him in terms of his swing. I will say he has not had a lot of rest, right? He had to go to Atlanta. He was in the Derby, played all 3 rounds there, winning it. Then he has to catch the All-Star game, so he's behind the dish. His knees aren't getting a day off there, and he's still batting. So I think it's just got to be a little bit of fatigue here for Cal. The good news is right behind him, Julio goes 2 for 5 with a couple hits. Josh Naylor, 2 for 3, 3 runs scored, home run, a walk, 2 stolen bases, and reached base on an error. So Josh Naylor on base 3 times. Eugenio Suarez, 1 for 3 with a walk and a 2-run home run. It's not necessarily lineup protection from the standpoint of like, pitchers will be afraid to pitch to Cal. I mean, he's making outs, but now you have more guys capable of picking up the slack a little bit. So Cal being in a slump, whereas early in the year, Cal in a slump felt devastating, right? There was just, if Cal wasn't on, it was going to be very tough. And Randy was even struggling a little bit for the first couple months, or I wouldn't say struggling, but not crushing it really. Now it's like, okay, you can live with this right now. Cal will be fine. He'll get back in a groove at some point. Looks like he's pressing a little bit maybe, but you've got guys. You've got Josh Naylor, Jorge Polanco, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs, a couple base hits. About Dom, I don't think I mentioned Dom Canzone's home run. He has 2 hits, a double, the home run, and the walk. The double was a funny one down the third base line, but he crushes a home run. Cole Young, 2 for 3 with a couple hits and then an RBI ground out. You've got so many guys in this lineup now that can get you. We talked about it already, but it's like Dom Canzone sitting there in the 7 hole. He gets the Mariners on the board with the sole home run. He gets it started in a game that looked like it might be frustrating. Dom puts one out, take a deep breath. Mariners end up putting up 8 runs. Like, there's just no easy guy to get out. And Luke Raley's not even playing right now. Luke Raley's been like a top 30 hitter in baseball by WRC plus the last year, 2 years. I don't even know where he's going to fit in the lineup. I mean, hopefully, you find some at-bats, you can mix and match things, but that's how locked in and good and deep this lineup is. Doesn't mean it's not susceptible to some frustrations. You still have some strikeout guys that can get very hot and very cold. Cal's a little cold right now. Gino can be the same way. We've seen it from Julio, Randy too. So, obviously if this team just hits one of those cold stretches, it could be tough. But I think there's just so many guys now that the odds of all them not being on at the same time are slim, right? And that's where I go back to 27 runs in the last 5 games. And I've kind of if you ask me, not looking at box scores, just watch the game, Jay, how do you feel about the Mariners offense last 5 days? I go, yeah, I think they've been all right. I think they've left some runs out there. I mean, left some out, they could have 6-7 runs per game. So it's a testament to how good this lineup is. And the pitching's been better since the break, right? We know how good Bryan Woo's been. Logan's looked a little bit better. Still some frustrating, those 1 innings are getting him. Kirby's looked better. Castillo's been fine. Bryce Miller making some rehab starts, touching 98. Bryce Miller's touching 98. I'm interested to see him back in this rotation. I've kind of written Bryce off for 2025, but if, I still want to see it on the mound, but he's saying he's feeling great. This is a guy that finished top 5 in the AL Cy Young voting last year. They could be getting back. That could be a huge addition to this rotation. You get Bryce Miller pitching 23, 24, replacing Logan Evans. It's going to be really hard to beat this baseball team. I think the only thing that makes me nervous right now is it's the Mariners. It's the Mariners. And we've seen the Mariners do Mariners things. But if you just gave me this roster, right now and said, hey, Jay, I'm not telling you what team this is. This is the roster. They're 3 games back in a division. They're a game and a half up on a playoff spot. Does this roster make the playoffs? It's hard to see it not, right? Maybe you'd want another reliever in there, but you feel pretty good. Spire, Brash, Munoz, Bizzardo's been good. You look at the lineup and you say, hey, even if Cal's not in there, Mitch Garver's capable of going deep. Canzone's having a nice season. You don't even have Luke Raley or Victor Robles back. It'd be hard for me to say that team doesn't get in. It's more the mythical legend of the Mariners, and that just shouldn't apply, right? The sins of past Mariners teams are not on this team. Maybe a little bit because some of the players are the same, but you know what I mean? So yeah, just a really solid top to bottom performance and win. The type of ones that are fun to watch because the game's kind of just not in doubt there for a while. You get to sit back, relax, enjoy it, and Hopefully it leads to some more wins. It'll be interesting to see. I'm kind of interested in how this playoff race, it's going to be a dogfight to the end. Really curious with the Yankees, right? Like, part of me's been rooting for them against Texas because I just want teams that are chasing the Mariners to go away, and that way it's like, hey, even if we don't get this spot, we're in. Do the Yankees miss the playoffs? It's hard for me to think they do. I know that bullpen's been struggling recently, but there's too many good names there. Aaron Judge just got back. A hard time not seeing the Yankees get in, but I get a little 2024 Mariners vibes from the Yankees. Not comparing the teams. You don't need to go, oh, no, they didn't have Aaron Judge. I know, but big lead or a lead. Once you saw the Mariners blow that 10-game lead, once Houston tied, that we knew Mariners weren't winning the division. You don't blow those leads and take them back. It just doesn't happen. It's like when you watch your team play in a game and they're up 7-0 and they blow a 7-run lead. You don't win those games. You just give it up and it's over. Maybe the Yankees going through that a little bit. And Aaron Boone's been there a while. Is the message getting stale? Very similar to Scott Service. One of the things I talked about with Service last year was like every button he pushed just ended up being wrong. Whether I thought it was the right decision or not, it just didn't work. I think Aaron Boone's going through that with his bullpen. Every button he's pushing, it ain't working for him right now. So I do wonder, like talent-wise, I don't think the Yankees missed the playoffs, but sometimes it's not about talent. Sometimes it's just about how the team's gelling, meshing. They already optioned Jake Bird, who was one of their acquisitions, to AAA. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I will say, I think this Mariners lineup can compete with anybody. And if this pitching staff, can, and they're starting to do it, but if they really get dialed in, this team is capable of going on a run, right? Like we've seen it. This team is more than capable. They've already done it a little bit. They've won 4 out of 5. They could win 10 out of 12. Like that's not a crazy thing that this team could win 6 in a row here and really supplant themselves in a position. So I mean, I really do think we're going to see a big hot streak here. So maybe this is the start of it already with this homestand, but and I think that day off really helped Naylor, Gino too, because they have their best days here. I think they just needed a breather. They went through a lot at the trade deadline. And I think the day off really helped them. And I think once you get Cal dialed in, it's going to be even more fun. So that's all I've got. Enjoy the W tonight. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, how about these Mariners? Go Mariners. Peace.